Well, key stakeholders in Southern Africa's ICT and telecom sectors, including government, technology companies and international partners, have gathered in Cape Town for the 2025 SATNAC conference. The Southern Africa Telecommunication Networks and Applications Conference is held under the theme Africa's Ascent towards a sustainable and resilient future, enabled by secure next-generation infrastructure, digital technology and artificial intelligence. SABC News economics reporter Katlego Legodi is at the conference, and he's going to give us a report from there. Katlego, good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, Leanne, and to our viewers at home. Welcoming you, of course, into day 2 of the SATNAC conference here at the lovely Hermanus in the Western Cape province. This is where we're expecting today to see those marathon of engagements to continue well into the day as we wrap up the conference. High-level engagements coming through even from yesterday. Leanne, we had the Deputy Minister for Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation, Say Somahai, coming through here to give a keynote address, and this is where really he kick-started this particular process, looking at policy inclusion, looking at ensuring as well that we put the digital infrastructure under the spotlight to make way for a digital economy, and just ensuring as well that we capitalize on the artificial intelligence and the good that we can really get out of it, the bad as well that come with it, whereby the safeguards will be needed here. But we see most of those role players talking about collaboration being something that will move us forward in ensuring that no one is left behind. I'm going to bring into the conversation with us here the CEO for Consumer and Digital here at Consumer and Small Business, Lunga, CEO at Telkom, who'll just reflect with us. Lunga, just yesterday, seeing that the topic of inclusion coming out very, very strong. You do work with small businesses and consumers, and the issue of data and ensuring that there is equality, the divide really coming out strong here, really just ensuring as well that no one is left behind, being the overarching theme here as we look to the next generation of infrastructure around digital. Just reflect with us, Lunga, in terms of where we find ourselves, but also your key takeaways from yesterday.
Well, thank you for having me, and good morning to everyone as well. I think for me, the beauty about this conference, it actually brings a lot of industry players from large OEMs, stakeholders in public sector, and also the academia as well, to actually start looking at how do we actually solve society's problems using technology. The theme from yesterday was, if Africa creates, humanity rises, right? How can Africa create if we actually still have this digital divide? We don't have the infrastructure in place. So how do we actually start using technology to actually bridge the digital divide? How do we use AI to actually leapfrog everyone? So that was the theme from yesterday, and lots of discussions, lots of engagements, and also lots of opportunities that are presented that are also at play as well.
Where do consumers find themselves right now in small businesses? I mean, they too would want to form part of this evolution, and they wouldn't want to be left behind. Looking at the work that you've been doing over time, how do you find them faring in this era of technology?
Yeah, maybe a couple of things for us. Maybe let me start with consumers as well, right? So we've got consumers that actually have access to connectivity, and then you have consumers that have access to connectivity but can't afford to have it. And as Telkom, we've always been at the forefront of actually making sure that we actually get connectivity to everyone. And, part of our vision is to seamlessly connect everyone in South Africa. And some of the issues that we've seen in the past was, how do you actually get coverage into deep rural areas where potentially people that have never been into urban areas have actually access to connectivity in an affordable manner? So how do you get that closer to them so that they don't really have to migrate to urban areas to actually have access to the internet? Because what happens is when people have access to the internet, they can actually see the world differently, they can dream differently, they can learn new skills, right? They can learn what is AI, what AI can potentially do for them to start small businesses from where they are and actually take their products to the world as well. So that's how we've actually viewed it. How do you actually get inclusion into the deeper areas that are not normally connected? And when you've done that, how do you actually create affordable products so that customers can be able to afford to get into the internet? And as you know, back in the day, we actually pioneered a product called FreeMe, which is really about getting customers into this world that is becoming much more digital through affordable connections.
issue of policy came out very strong yesterday. It doesn't look like we are really racing to ensure that we get it right. We hear the minister telling us yesterday, the deputy minister, that these are processes that will still have to go through cabinet and the likes before even coming through to the public for participation. It would really work out for you if you do add your voice to that particular policy. What is your thinking around that as Telkom?
No, absolutely. I mean, we've been advocating for policy to actually keep up with the times because technology moves faster as well, and government has to move with speed as well to make sure that they can enable the industry to play in a much more fair manner and also be able to really extend coverage into deep rural areas. So we've really been pushing them from a policy perspective. How do you actually look at things such as the OTT players? How do we regulate them in the industry? There's AI coming to the fore. What is governance around it? There's also what we call data that actually has to be kept in country, which actually talks to issues of data sovereignty as well. So how do you regulate that much earlier so that you can look at issues such as, ethics around AI? How is it being utilized? Is it actually being utilized for the benefit of the good? Or is it being utilized to really just create much more profits as well? And you still have this digital divide, beyond this AI. Absolutely. So we've been pushing for that line of thought with government stakeholders to make sure that they can keep up with the times and really update regulation and actually give us something that can enable the industry to thrive, but also much more importantly for society at large to actually thrive, because digital connectivity is becoming a basic human right.
Yeah. Lunga, let me let you go into day two. Thank you very much for giving us your time. This high-level conversations continuing well into today, Leanne, and we're expecting as well to see some of those delegates coming through and the students to present their papers as well, as most of them will be master students, PhD students that have been working to ensure that there is actually an addition, a value addition coming from South Africa as we look at investments into the next generation of infrastructure centered around digital inclusivity. Leanne, respect to you in studio for now.
All right, Katlego, thanks so much. Looks like you're enjoying yourself there.